Hello, I'm Jae-hyuk Choi of Departments Politics, Science, and Diplomacy. Today, I will present our attitude in response to super-aging society. The super-aging society that we will inevitably face in the not-too-distant future must be resolved. But we will begin our presentation by saying that continuous efforts are needed because it is not done in one moment. Definition of a super-aging society. According to the UN definition, an aging society is determined by the proportion of the elderly population aged 65 or elder. If it is more than 7% of the total population, it is an aged society. More than 20% of the total population is defined as a super-aging society. South Korea has entered an aging society as a proportion of the elderly population has exceeded 7% since 2000. And this ratio is expected to reach 24.9% by 2030. It is predicted that it will enter a super aging society in 2030 soon. We would like to identify the problems caused by the advance of a super aging society and propose our attitude or solutions. Here are three predictable issues that I want to address. It is a problem of slowing economic growth due to the poverty rates of the elderly, the generational conflict between the elderly and the young, and the decrease in the working age population. First of all, the elderly poverty rate represents the proportion of the elderly with a median income of less than 50%. In summary, it is the rate of 65 years old with an income of approximately $1,000 or less. The higher the elderly poverty rate, the more difficult it is to arrive as an elderly person in Korea. It is necessary to think about ways to solve the poverty rate of the elderly, that is, complex ways to lead a life through stable economic activities, even in older age. The legal retirement age in South Korea is currently fixed at 60. On the other hand, the average life expectancy from the National Statistical Office COSIS is 83.6 years. On average, they should not work for at least 23.6 years and live on the money and pension they have saved until retirement age. In addition, the pension payment period is 65 years old, which must endure a 5 years labor gap. In other words, it is not easy to survive as an elderly person in Korea. In this situation, there must be sustainable jobs to solve the poverty rate of the elderly. It is necessary to provide jobs for the elderly at the social level. Next, generational conflicts between the elderly and young people may occur. There may be various factors for generational conflict between age groups, but in the end, complaints due to the increase in cost borne by the productive population are expressed as conflicts between generations. On the surface, it can be said to be a rapid social change, but in reality, complaints caused by increase in costs that young people have to pay are directed at the elderly. At the macro level, efforts to increase the birth rate should be continued, while creating a channel to communicate between generations at the micro level. In the end, in order to reduce the gap, the difference in perception between each generation, understanding through communication must proceed. Economic growth will slow down as working age population shrink. Korea ranked third in the World Manufacturing Competitiveness Index, which is CIP, released by the United Nations Industry Development Organization, UNIDO, based on 2018 indicators. However, as the working age population continues to decline, economic growth is slowing in an aging society. Economic growth is bound to slow down as the young working population decreases. As a way to solve this problem, there is a direct way to absolutely increase the productive population, to increase the birth rate. In addition, it is necessary to secure a population capable of producing even in an aging society and maintain it as a productive population. Changes in the working environment are needed as a way to maintain the productive population. It is time to achieve environmental changes, such as the wage peak system, with realistic policies. Until now, we looked at the core of the problems and solutions caused by the advent of a super-aging society. Super-aging is an unavoidable social problem. However, it is not a problem that can be solved in one way. The super-aging problem is difficult to solve in one way because it is absorbent to observe other social problems. It's really complex. It has a trait which is complexity. However, we must recognize that we must prepare for a super-aging society and seek solutions even if we face conflicts and controversies. In conclusion, I think we need aggressive preparation is needed through a public forum where social deliberation can proceed. Thank you for listening.